Hey guys, Mike here, welcome back to my channel, and today we are doing another edition of Red Carpet Catastrophe, the segment of my show where basically we look at bad movies or movies that are critically panned, movies that are like unliked by critics and considered really bad movies, and we basically just take a deeper dive into them, look at them, analyze them, and talk about whether or not they're actually as bad as people would want you to believe. And today, we are doing a movie that I only watched for the first time last week, and that movie is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from 2014 with Megan Fox. Let's dive straight into it. Oh my god, there is so much I want to unpack about this movie, which did pretty poorly on Metacritic and Rotten Tomatoes if you look it up. Not a very highly regarded film in terms of critics, and I will say that I'm certainly not an expert in the field of Ninja Turtles. Like, I don't necessarily have much... Like, I'll put it this way. Before I saw this movie, I wouldn't have been able to tell you the name. Like, I could tell you the names of all the Ninja Turtles, but I couldn't have told you, like, Raphael is the red banner one and Donatello is the purple banner one. Like, I couldn't have associated them like that. Like, I know all their names. I know a little bit about the Ninja Turtles, but not that much. But I just wanted to check out this movie because I saw it on Netflix and I was like, why the hell not? Let's watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I am aware that there have been a few attempts to bring the Ninja Turtles into a live action setting. I believe in the 80s or maybe the early 90s, there was a couple Ninja Turtles movies that came out. And there was one in the mid 2000s that was just called TMNT. It was just called TMNT, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And that also was not that good. And I guess my thing about this is that I genuinely think it is very hard to translate a children's cartoon or a children's property that is kind of like, you know, children's properties are always sort of, you know, very fantastical, very like imaginative, and it's very hard to take that and adapt it into a live action setting. And like we've seen it done in the past with something like Transformers. The Transformers movies were like, I think that first Transformers Michael Bay movie was actually like, you know, not terribly received critically, but I mean, I don't think any of the Transformers movies are regarded as like, you know, amazing cinema. Well, I know for a fact that they're not, and a lot of it was product placement and ads, and I think it's very hard to take something as like, I guess, what word am I searching for here? Something that's almost comical in nature, Transformers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? Like, they're such wacky concepts that work so well in an animation, I guess, because animation, it's so easy to suspend disbelief. But like, when you're trying to adapt something like that into live action, I just think it's really hard to get it right. And like, we've seen this recently with stuff like the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Like, I'd put Sonic into that same category, and when they originally unveiled the original design for Sonic the Hedgehog in that movie, people reacted really negatively and didn't like it, to the point where they actually redid Sonic in that movie and redesigned him to a more approachable design, and I think the movie was better for it. We also saw Pokemon Detective Pikachu, again, trying to bring something like Pokemon into the real world, which I think kind of worked pretty well as well, and I think they did some really good, had some really good choices there. But also things like Power Rangers, again, the Power Rangers movie that recently came out, which I believe had Dacre Montgomery from Stranger Things now. I think that was also a bit of a flop. A lot of these things they just don't work well, and I have always been of the personal belief that I don't think that the Ninja Turtles could ever really take off or be critically successful and well made in a movie because of that reason. I just think that the concept is just so grounded in cartooniness, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and that's not a bad thing at all. Like, I actually think the Ninja Turtles are really cool heroes. I think they're really cool characters. I think it's a really interesting thing, but I don't think it's ever going to work very well in live action. I don't think it's ever going to be extremely successful in live action from a movie making standpoint. And I think, look, I'll be honest, the 2014 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie sort of confirmed that to me. It's definitely not like the worst film I've ever seen, but, and I don't really like this word, and before I start this actual review, I'm going to actually put out there that I'm really not a woke person. But I will say, and again, I hate this word, but this movie is quite problematic. And I hate actually using the word problematic because I think it's just, I don't think it actually describes anything. I think it's just a word that people use. But like, I think there is no other movie that this is applicable to than this movie. And I'll get onto that a bit later. I guess primarily the main thing that you're always going to think about straight away when you think of a live action Ninja Turtles movie is what the Ninja Turtles actually look like. Like, how do they actually translate into live action? And I will say, like, I really appreciated the designs of the Ninja Turtles in this movie. I didn't think they were bad. I actually thought they looked pretty cool. I thought they were designed really well, and they looked like they blended into the world around them, and all of the CG characters did, including like the master, whatever the master's name is that they have, the rat guy. And it also gives an origin story for the Ninja Turtles, that they were actual turtles that were being experimented on, and they were the pets of Megan Fox's character, as well as the rat character was as well. And, you know, they were mutated. And, like, I don't know what it is in the original source material, how they become the Ninja Turtles, but I kind of liked it as an outsider to just have this little thing, this little explanation for how they became what they became. And I just thought some of the fight scenes were really cool. You know, the action scenes were really cool. There's an amazing scene where they're sliding down like a snowy mountain, and I just thought that was really action-packed and really, really fun, really cool, and just a lot of kind of like lame themes of working together and appreciating being in a team. And, you know, I think Raphael is the very hot-headed Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, while Leonardo is more of the like natural-born leader who wants to like do things steadily, whereas Raphael just wants to launch into battle, and they clash heads a bit. And I do know a bit about the personalities of them to know that is part of their kind of makeup and their DNA from their source material as well. So I think, like, character-wise, they were really, really good, and I don't fault that anywhere. Like, I think the action was good and all of that was good. Here's where the movie really starts to fall down and show its age, and not even that much age, because it's only a 6-year-old movie, but the character of Megan Fox, who is a really interesting character and is a really, like, passionate character and everything like that, but unfortunately, for whatever reason, they decided that she was just going to be sexualized by all of the male characters. And again, I don't consider myself a woke person, but I hated it. I felt uncomfortable the entire time watching it, and I was disappointed that all of this was happening in 2014, because I do feel like as a society, culturally, we've come so far to know that a lot of the things that were happening in this movie, you just wouldn't do in a post-Me Too era. And it surprises me that this was happening so recently in this movie. It just felt so uncomfortable to have Michelangelo, who is traditionally shown as the more like, oh, I'm the proper teenager, I'm the goofy one, I'm the wacky one, I'm the one that actually acts like a teenager in the group. And whoever was the writer, whoever were the writing team in this film, decided that Michelangelo would just consistently and constantly sexualize Megan Fox's character, to the point where at one point in the film, Michelangelo calls dibs on Megan Fox's character, which frankly just was absolutely awful to watch and just made me feel really uncomfortable that essentially in that moment, that character sort of totally, 100% objectified Megan Fox's character. And it was just a really bad reflection of what Hollywood has been in the past. And I think this movie really sort of represents why we need diversity in writers' rooms, and why we need diverse writing teams, and why we need, I guess, just like more women in writing teams, because I would assume that the writing team of this film, and I could be wrong, but I assume it was mostly male based on what made it through to the final product. And the women in the essentially one of the main character, who is a woman, is just constantly sexualized, and not, it doesn't have to be that way. And I just think if there were women in that writing room, it wouldn't have gotten through to the point where it just became creepy. There's also another human male character played by Will Arnett, who's also kind of a creeper who wants to hook up with Megan Fox's character, and it's pretty cringy, and I don't know, it just sort of soured the entire movie for me. I just hated watching that, and I hated that the strong female character at the forefront of the movie was just constantly reduced to an object or a goal for a lot of the male characters to achieve, and she was never taken seriously, and every time she was trying to be taken seriously, she was sexualized. I just felt really, really, really uncomfortable about it, and I hated what the movie allowed to happen. Even with the character of Michelangelo being that kind of wacky teenager sort of character who loves pizza and chicks and all of that, it really didn't have to be the way it was, where it was genuinely just creepy. And it also, on a more literal level, it also raises questions because these mutant ninja teenage turtles, sorry, I said that in the wrong order, but like, so are they sexually attracted to human women? Because in that case, it just creates a lot of weird, like, just weird issues in the movie itself. Like, are all of these turtles sexually attracted to human women, or is it just Michelangelo? Like, how does it work? I don't know. But this movie, like, all of that just completely ruined the movie. It did not have to be that kind of thing. And I think it would have been okay for Michelangelo, the character, to, like, have a crush on Megan Fox's character, but it didn't have to be calling dibs on her and essentially harassing her amongst other characters in the film, which just totally drew away from it. She's never taken seriously when she's trying to, like, you know, reveal things, and she's a reporter in the movie, and it just absolutely sucked seeing that. And I would hope that we've come far enough in cinema to know that we would never write characters like that anymore. Like, I saw this... Like, if I saw this movie in 2020, which I did, and I guess my point is, if I saw a movie in 2020 that had a similar kind of thing that it was taking seriously, I would feel very uncomfortable, as I did with this. And so I guess overall, is this movie a red carpet catastrophe? Do I recommend you watch it despite the negative reviews? And I guess I just have to say no. Like, I never want to watch this movie again, despite the fact that there are some really cool action scenes and the origin story of the Ninja Turtles is really cool. I just don't think this movie is worth watching because it's just got these really weird, creepy sexual undertones that are just totally inappropriate for the film. And maybe I'm just being excessive, but I genuinely just felt like none of it was relevant to the story, and they didn't need to characterize her like that. I'd be kind of interested to watch the sequel to this that came out a few years later that also had Megan Fox in it, but at the same time, I mean, I'd probably give it a miss. Like, I don't think that this movie is worth watching, so I guess that means I'm labeling it as a red carpet catastrophe. Don't watch this movie. It's pretty trash, and it's just problematic. Thank you for watching. My name's Radio Mike. You can check out my other red carpet catastrophes. There's currently one up of Venom from 2018. See what I thought of that. Check out my channel, subscribe, thumbs up, comment, let me know what you thought of this movie. Challenge my views politely if you like. And you can check out either of my podcasts that go up as on full on your favorite podcast app or as video forms on YouTube. I do new content, just pop culture content, generally every single weekday, so please check out my channel and check my stuff out. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you later.
But I went to run my hand through your hair and I noticed you were attached to string. You were a puppet this whole time, you were attached to string.